Hey everybody, this is my review for 42, and I saw it last night as part of a film festival, and it was actually a really neat experience because Jackie Robinson's daughter was there, and as if you don't know, the film 42 is about Jackie Robinson and his career in baseball. And his daughter was there, and she did a Q&A after the film was over, and she also introduced the movie. So I thought that was really, really neat. And also, I mean, it was a really packed theater, and I noticed that Val Kilmer was sitting in the audience. I thought that was pretty badass. I mean, I just kind of turned around and I was like, oh my god, that's Val Kilmer. But anyway, so it was pretty cool. The experience was cool, but you probably want to hear about the movie, which is why you're here. And I'll say that it's just kind of very okay. It's not great, it's not awful, it's just very blasé. And it's certainly a crowd pleaser. It's entertaining in a lot of ways, but it just didn't really get at anything that really affected me on a deep level. It reminded me a lot of The Help, and if you saw my review for that, you know my opinions on it. It's better than The Help. It is a little better, but it had the same look to it. It had those kind of golden, warm hues. It was very squeaky clean, a very Hollywood movie. And it was definitely entertaining to a lot of people. A lot of people were laughing the whole time and that sort of thing. But I just couldn't help but want more from it. That's like my key phrase about this movie. I just wanted more of everything. I wanted it to dig deeper. I wanted it to deal more with Jackie Robinson's internal conflicts, because the character is interesting, and but all you really get to see is kind of how he's affected externally, and you only get to know who he is really through kind of conversations and on the surface. And I wanted to see how this world was affecting him. This world of racism was really affecting him behind closed doors. In the movie, he has a very picturesque home life, and maybe he really did have a great marriage, and I'm not doubting that, but I'm sure there had to be moments where they fought, where these racial issues really did affect them, and it affect their marriage in a lot of ways, and you never really saw that. This movie is very black and white, no pun intended, very cut and dry, and there's very few gray areas. You have a lot of stereotypes. You have the evil white characters who are very racist and hate Jackie Robinson, and then you've got the saintly white people who are for Jackie Robinson. And you just don't see anything beyond that. There were moments where they were hinting at complexity, and I was really excited. I'm like, yes, yes, build on that, build on that. And of course, they would just yank it right away from you. And so then I would be really disappointed. But I really liked the guy who played Jackie Robinson. I thought he was very good. He's a relatively unknown actor, but he had this very soft, quiet intelligence about him, but this nice, like a real ferocity seething beneath that. He reminded me a lot of Sidney Poitier in a lot of ways. And then there's Harrison Ford, who plays Branch Rickey, and he was hilarious. Like, he was so bad in this movie. He is so over the top. It's just the whole time it's like he was like looking into the camera and being like, I'm acting, look at me act. And it really made me laugh. I couldn't help but I just couldn't take him seriously. And I don't know if you're supposed to or not, but he does get a lot of the zingers and a lot of the attempts at clever humor in the script, in the dialogue. And after a while he started to grow on me, but I still couldn't get past Harrison Ford. And he wasn't boring. I'll give him that much. At least he was entertaining, but it was just a very over the top performance. But I think the movie, back to the ideas in the movie, but the movie was a little bit too long. It was very repetitive. It just kept going from, white people angry at Jackie Robinson, over and over and over in the movie. And I'm not doubting at all I'm not saying that didn't happen. Of course it absolutely happened. But I just wanted to see the more subtle moments of how racism affected Jackie Robinson. There was one moment that really, I thought was really great. The manager of the Phillies is just this awful redneck kind of brash guy, and every time Jackie Robinson goes up to bat, he's just yelling at him, calling him the N-word over and over again, saying, you don't deserve to be in baseball, and these awful, awful things. And of course, Robinson gets really pissed off, but he can't do anything about it because it wouldn't look good for his public image. And then but the Phillies manager decides or realizes that it's going to tarnish his image if he keeps being mean to Robinson and mean to African Americans in general. So he decides, in order to make my image look good, I'm going to publicly apologize to Jackie Robinson and all this sort of stuff. And of course, Robinson says, I don't want to have anything to do with him. He's an awful human being. But then Branch Rickey says, you have to do it. It doesn't matter if it's right, if he's actually a changed man. What matters is that it looks like he's a changed man. And I was like, yes, that is a really great point. That's something that's really going to make people think. And I was like, build on that. Come on, let's explore that. And of course, they just yank it away, and it's only hinted at, really. And I just that really kind of made me fed up. Again, there's high moments, there's low moments. It's all wrapped up in a nice tidy bow, and it felt very manipulative. The script is very written, and what I mean by that is that there's a lot of cliches, and it's really, again, trying to manipulate you. It's trying to really evoke those emotions. It's trying to get you to feel like it's supposed to be inspirational and hopeful and all of these things, but I think it thinks it's more clever than it is. So again, this movie, if you really like movies that are just very like on an entertainment basis, sorry, cannot talk today. If you just like your movies very cut and dry and you like to be entertained, then you'll really like this movie. If you like The Help, you would like this movie. But if you're like me and you really want to see issues explored and you really like to think in your movies and you don't like to be manipulated, this movie is not for you. But I get why people enjoy it. It just, for me, it just didn't do very much. But anyway, that's my review. You can comment, or please comment and let me know what you think. You can follow me on Twitter. The link is below. And thanks for listening.